Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Different Perspective, Raising Vibrations while Chasing Squirrels.
Yep.
And we change it up a little bit today because, John is going to introduce our guest today.
Yeah, we have Roberta Lord with us, who is an incredible healer in town here. I know many of my clients have been your clients too.
Nice.
So
Don't
tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a healer. So I've been doing healings since the mid-90s. I started, it's a long journey to where I am. Did you like to know how I got here?
Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah, we want everybody to know.
Okay, hi, sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
because I think it's fascinating because there's so many people watching this who have a gift and they might be denying it because they don't understand.
Right.
And that is part of why we're doing the show, to raise not just vibrations but the awareness as well.
Right.
And I love when our guests share how they came into their gift and when they first realized it and what were the first signs and all of that, because I think it's really important for the masses to really hear, because I believe everybody has a gift and has a gift on the psychic level.
Right. And
It's
your
just we're
story
so right.
gives them permission
Nice.
to
Right.
explain
And that's-
Well,
to
my story's a pretty
grow.
fun one.
Oh, I like fun.
I know.
I'm all about fun.
So how I got here started with Carl. Big Carl. That was a friend of mine that I met when I was...
Oh, it was an actual person, it wasn't an acronym. I'm thinking Carl's Jr.,
Carl Sagan,
Billions and billions of psychics in the universe.
They are. We all are. So
So I
anyway.
met Carl when I was in massage school back
Okay.
in the early 90s. And we had started talking, and we were talking, and I've never fished. So he said, oh, I got to take you fishing. There's a fishing hole up by Salida. Okay. So we went up there, and he showed me how to cast a line, and I went like that. And as soon as I went like that, snap, 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 I was on the ground. I had broken my ankle. And I
Oh my
really
gosh,
broke it.
for real?
Yeah, for reals. And
Ouch.
so he said, he made sure I was okay, and he said, I need to go get you an ambulance. So he took out his block phone, and
At
there
least he had a cell phone at that time.
Like
With the suit-
1986.
With the suitcase to go with it.
no, I don't know, it was one of the brick phones.
Oh, okay.
And he tried to call, and there was no reception there. So he goes, I need to leave to get where I can get reception for you. He said, are you okay? And I'm like,
I have broken my legs. No,
Yes.
I'm not.
So he said, do you want me to take the pain from you? I went, huh? He said, do you want me to take the pain from you? I said, sure. So he put his hands around my ankle, and pain was gone. Pain was gone until the next day after surgery.
Wow.
Wow.
So that was my introduction, because I had no idea that stuff existed. And afterwards, Carl showed me how to feel energy. And then I just kind of took the ball and ran with it. So I took tons of classes, workshops. It was amazing. My gift came very like in little stages, probably because
Bite size?
it's me. And
Well, it came the right time and the right size.
it always
for you.
does.
It always does.
Yeah, and it
exactly.
involved a spiritual journey for me. And I was basically, well, I wasn't living at an ashram because I was a mom and a wife. But I would go up as often as I could, like every weekend, and did classes up there. So it's been a long journey, and so I did massage for about 10 years, and my hands started to hurt with some arthritis because I am a little more mature, and I started doing the energy work, and people seem to really like that. And so then
because it's amazing.
I started to switch over,
Okay.
and it's amazing. I mean, I didn't think my gift was, I thought it was like, oh no, it's just woo-woo stuff, as we were talking earlier, but it's really not. And as the more I did it, and when I started to do long distance healings, and the healings were significantly, they were impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized this stuff is the real thing, and it's not woo-woo
Right.
at all. It's
No.
quantum physics.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that, and I mean I've experienced it because I mean I shared in another show my bestie who got me started on the spiritual, Barbara Harrington. She did energy healing on me before anything, and it started out because when we met I wasn't walking with the cane, and the next time she saw me, like a few days later, I'm walking in with my stick, and she looks at me, she goes, "What's wrong? Why are you having this?" And I laughed and I said, "Well, if I give you the list with what's right, you know, we get out of here faster."
So you.
You know?
Yeah, that's a shortcut.
And she goes, "Well, can I put my hand on your back?" And I was like, "Sure, whatever floats your boat." I mean, at this point, because I was very new, I was intrigued about the whole. I knew there's more and stuff, but I was like, "Sure, lady, whatever floats your boat." And before the meeting started, I mean, we were talking. It was only like a minute or two, and she had put her hand on my back, and then I sat down. And after the meeting, she comes up to me. She goes, "How's your back?" I was like, "Oh my God." I wasn't doing this the whole time, trying to get comfortable. It was before I had my back surgery, you know, trying to get comfortable, trying to avoid the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at her, I was like, damn. So I
I get that
experienced
word
it.
a lot too.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, that was the very first time I experienced energy healing. And that was like, what, a minute?
Mhm.
You know, and then since
That's
then,
all
of
it
course,
really takes.
right. But I mean, since then, I had experienced more and more and more, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool.
It is.
And it is amazing, and I take that any day over any surgery or anything. You know, and it's just, so I'm like, whoa.
Well, the one I'm most proud of, the healing I'm most proud of, is I have a client who actually went to school with 100 years ago, and her
You're
daughter.
not that old,
I'm
don't
pretty
lie.
old. And her daughter, her daughter's in her mid-30s, and her daughter has some diseases. They don't even know what it is,
Oh, wow.
but she's bedridden,
Mm.
and her hands are all like that and everything. So I started working on her, with her permission, of course, and now her hands they're not perfect, but she can use them now,
Nice.
and she's in a wheelchair, which is much better
That's
than being
huge.
bedridden.
Yeah.
That is huge.
So that's the one that's the most awesome, and that's long distance. Because
Wow.
I live in Colorado, she lives now in California.
Right, but I mean, with energy, and we talked about it in another show, it doesn't matter where you are,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
plane field you're in, what dimension you're in, it doesn't matter because it's just, and I love that. That is so cool.
It's very cool.
Good for her.
Well, it's amazing that, you know, what I've known about you since I started really doing, I guess, psychic work on the outside. You know, a lot of common friends, or now you taught the your modality,
No, I haven't taught it. I mean, I'll show people how to
right?
find energy,
Yeah.
and if they think they have a gift, I'll work with them to become more confident in it.
Yeah, because I've had people who said, you know, that you've helped them on their path.
Mhm. Oh, really?
And
That's nice to
recognize-
know.
Yeah, because you have a bigger name in the community than you realize.
Yeah, probably.
Because well, she said Roberta, and I just said write your name there, right out.
Mhm.
I didn't know which Roberta. There's plenty of them out here in Colorado,
Well, thank
and I knew right away. Boom, here it is. And it isn't because I'm psychic. It's because, you know, what our conversations
Right.
are. It was like, no, you've got
Yeah, this is
you've
the
got a
vibration,
name.
yeah.
It's the vibration, and you make a difference in people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, we're
Make a
very
difference in my
fortunate.
lifetime.
You know, Colorado's
Oh, you
very
do?
fortunate, and those in long distance are very fortunate that you found your path.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you stuck with it, and you're incredible at it.
Well, thank you.
No, I mean, it is huge, and I'm in awe, because I'm, like I said, I'm still in the beginning of my journey on the whole spectrum here, you know, and I am so in awe, and I am so fascinated with everything, and the more I learn, the more in awe I am. It's not that, you know, the more you know, the calmer you get, the more I know, the more excited I get.
Right.
Because the world it's opening, or the worlds, the universe, I mean, the way it's just opening is like, whoa.
Well, I always say this spiritual path is like you go into it like Paddington Bear,
Mm-hmm.
and you come out like a Ewok. I thought it was gonna be all fun and rosy and this path,
I
and
love
it
that.
turns out, I mean, you have to be a warrior
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
willing to go through all kinds of stuff. But the thing is, everything that is hard that you do or painful, you know, heart-wise or whatever, that is your opportunity to learn.
Absolutely, and it's like, I can go from what I'm doing and what I'm going through. It's like I had to go through, embrace my darkness and my pain, you know, embrace that and make friends with it. To
Embrace
do,
it. I always say embrace the
right,
hell out of it.
you know,
Yeah.
to be able to do what I do. You know, I mean, I can just stay in the light and in the happy and everything, but the dark is still there. And if I don't acknowledge it, and and it took me a minute, you know, I finally did that. But it was like I was so scared to go back into that dark because I didn't accept it. I didn't acknowledge it. You know, it's like I don't want to go back there. It's bad, and it's like all the stuff I've been through on that side. I don't want to do it again. But then I learned it's like, no, I need to embrace it. I need to be grateful for it. I need to love it.
Totally.
You know, and really make it my best friend. And as soon as that clicked, what I do now got elevated another few notches. Not just like a little. I mean, it's like, oh, hello.
Well, I only realized that when I go through it, when you know we all go through it, you can help others because you can read a book all you want,
Right.
but if you've lost a parent or something, you can't read about it and know what it feels like.
No.
Right?
Right.
You have to experience it.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely. That to me is just like,
And when you get that opportunity to have somebody experience it through you and with you, their world changes.
not just theirs.
No, well, no, not just theirs.
It's like, and because here's the thing, it's like we make a difference for one person, and that ripples.
It does.
And we never know how far that reaches. I have people come up, and I'm sure you guys do too. It's like, oh my God, what you said, like, you know, a gazillion years ago, that made such an impact, and I have no clue what I said, or who they are, or when I said it to them. You know, because it's just like, it's who we are, and that's what we do, and we just never know how far we reach.
Right, because you don't see a lot of these people again.
right, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Right, and we
I'm
reach
not in
people
it.
that we never even directly affected, but we
Right.
affected somebody who affected somebody who affected somebody.
Right. That
Well,
old
I'm
hair
not in it
commercial.
for attaboys. It's
I don't
kind of
think
hard.
none of us are.
But it's kind of hard when people say, like what you said, that was a big compliment. And it's like,
You get cringy
well,
inside,
it's like,
don't
that's
you?
not what I'm doing. I'm just
You're being
loving.
you.
I'm just loving people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And,
But you need to embrace that too.
What?
That when
no, I understand that.
right.
That's why.
But I mean, I'm also
Oh,
for our audience, you know, it's like, it was hard for me to accept compliments for the longest time.
Same.
Because it's not why I do it. It was, now I've come to the point where I was like, thank you so much, I appreciate that. You know, I acknowledge it because it comes from their heart.
Right.
You know, and it's like we just have to acknowledge it, and it doesn't matter if you have any special gifts or not. If somebody gives you a compliment, don't play it down. It's like, ah, that old thing, you know, somebody gives you a compliment about your dress or your clothes or whatever. Ah, that old thing. Don't say that, because now you're taking away from what the gift that they give you.
Exactly.
You know, and that was hard for me. It was really hard for me, and I did that for so long. But now it's like, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a constant learning curve
It is.
with that, because I catch myself at times, you know, I'm an Irish guy, right? I'm mostly Irish.
I can see with the red hair. And
Yeah.
That's me this week.
Right. Yeah, right.
I love it.
Which bottle, right?
It's like, oh, brown, one blue.
But, you know, when people do give a compliment, I'll turn beet red. You know, no matter what, whether it's business related or whatever, I'll make a joke about it.
But when I tell you you're a god, you don't turn red, you laugh. What the heck?
Because I know. No, I'm kidding.
No problem.
I told her I tried
Ego
walking.
there.
Yeah. I tried walking on water in the bathroom, but my foot got stuck in the toilet.
No, but I get that. It's embarrassing at first.
Yeah.
Well, what I say to people, I say, thank you, it's my honor.
Mm-hmm.
because it is truly my honor
is.
to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that, and you're amazing.
Aw,
Yeah.
it's my honor. It's right.
So you do something, and I've heard it before, and I don't really know the first thing about it. The
CranioSacral.
that one. That one.
CranioSacral is, I work with the Healing Warriors. We have a clinic once a month for anybody that's a veteran or active duty. And there's, let me just put a plug in for that. So it's the fourth Saturday of every month. And it's at the American Legion on Janine.
And that's in Colorado Springs,
Yes,
guys.
yes. And there might be one around, there's lots up in Denver and Fort Collins and such. And
Are they nationwide, or is it just a
I
Colorado
don't know. I really don't know.
thing? Okay.
But what we do is non-invasive pain release
Mm-hmm.
or pain relief. We have an acupuncturist or two. We have a healing touch or two, and we have craniosacral therapists or two. And I'm a craniosacral therapist. And so what craniosacral is, I assume you want to know.
Yes, please.
Well, you have your cranium, and you have your spine, and you have your sacrum, right? And the cerebral spinal fluid is made in the cranium, and that's where it's also released.
Okay.
So when we have traumas in our life, so let's say my broken ankle, boop, right? I can get over that broken ankle because that's just physical.
Heck, my thing must be like this then.
That's physical. But when you have that trauma cellularly never goes away unless you can go in and smooth it out. So that's a little bit different explanation than there's some more clinical explanations. But what I do is I tap in to the cerebral spinal fluid, and I feel it going like that, and it goes here. And when it goes to the end, it stops for a second or two, depending on the person. And then
Or
it comes
5
down.
minutes like me.
Right.
You know.
It also can do this. I mean, there's it just not.
Wait, what now? What was
What was
that?
that? Yeah, I want to hear that.
You're so predictable.
I know, right?
I was slow this time.
At least I'm consistent.
You are. So when you tap in, it stops for a moment, and they call that the still point. And that's spiritually, that's where God lies, but that's where your balance comes into your body, and then it comes back up. So when I like people with PTSD, brain injuries, people have had a lot of trauma, the cerebral spinal fluid, like I said, it'll do these weird things, and then I just use the quantum energy to smooth it out. So then it'll be flowing really good.
Okay.
And people, the way you would feel it, it's so darn relaxing. I mean, I get deep snores and drool and everything, but it's so darn
And then
relaxing.
the clients also get that.
Yeah. Kind of like, whoa. So, but that's when I know it feels so good because your nervous system is now calm.
Okay.
And I have people walk in my office and they're limping, and I had one guy a veteran with a back brace, and he was hurting, and he had some brain injury, was foggy and everything. And when he left my office after about 45 minutes, an hour, he was holding his back brace, and he said he was clear. That's
that's the one thing I haven't done yet. When you say balance, because I mean I have balance issues. That's why I have a service dog. You know, I'm like, and I'm thinking, so you're talking physical balance, or you're talking like emotional balance? Both?
Yeah. So it works for physical stuff and also for emotional, mental.
I should make an appointment
stress.
with you.
Well, I think that's a great idea. I got my book in my car.
Oh darn! I'm absolutely.
And when
I'm like,
people leave,
oh, yeah.
when they get up, and I don't just leave the office when they're done. I talk them through waking up, waking their body up slowly with respect, and gentle, and they're always like their eyeballs are, and they say, I say, you know, how are you feeling? Are you dizzy? Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. But mostly they say they feel floaty and loopy. I like that.
Right. So, because I'm thinking, I would really want to do this because some of you know, most of you might know, I'm the least gifted in this room. Let's put it that way. No, I'm always like, I'm the guinea pig. Okay? I know, because it's like, I know how I feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never done what you have done. I've never had that done for me. So, I really want to schedule an appointment and we'll document. I will give an update.
Right.
Because to me, this stuff works. I know it works. I know it will work. You know, I'm excited to find out how it will work for me.
And it's different for everybody.
Right. You know,
But when you go to, no disrespect to doctors or chiropractors or anything, but when you go and you get the somatic, the
right.
or even a massage therapist, the trauma is still in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of therapists out there, body workers and stuff, that understand that. But, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
And it's amazing. It's just amazing. I love being able to do it. It's just...
How long have you been doing it now?
Well, I can't tell
she's
you really.
100, so she's been a minute. Well, she started it with 100.
I know. I just feel like it sometimes.
Yeah.
I started doing it in the mid-90s, like
Right.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
is when I really, and it built up. It built up. And I just love it. I'm so passionate and
It doesn't show. Can you show a little bit more passion when you talk about it?
I didn't know I was, or was. Anyway, I just am. So
no,
yeah.
but I love it, and I love when people talk about their passion, and everything lights up. I mean, you really light up.
I love it.
Your whole being, your whole energy, everything lights up when you talk about what you do.
I
And
feel so blessed because it's like I get to work with spirit, and I get to use my intuition, and I get to help people feel better.
how awesome is that?
I know.
Yeah.
That's
That
why.
is-
Everybody
Right.
wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But I love when people really talk about their passion. Their whole being lights up. And I talk to a lot of people, you know, and they're doing one thing, and then it's like, so what lights you up? What excites you? And they start talking about what their real passion. And a lot of times I look at them and said, so if this is your passion, why are you doing this?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. People.
And they stop and
They
look
needed
at
to hear that.
right, and they look at me as like, well, I never thought about it. It's because just seemed the right thing to do, and you know,
It was safe.
well,
Most
it's
times
safe,
what it
and
is,
it's what was expected. Maybe they're
Right.
say they're a teacher or something, you know, and their whole family has been in the academic field, or the doctors or lawyers or whatever, you know, and. I mean, I fell into that trap, sort of. I mean, I was shooting all over myself for so long, and as we were talking earlier, you said you were a wanderer, and I like that term, so was I.
It's an
You know.
archetype, actually.
Yeah.
It's a what?
Archetype. We'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
So,
when I learned that, it was an epiphany for me because I always felt so guilty about moving from job to job, like I was a big loser because nothing excited
but I mean,
me.
that's society. It's what's
yeah,
put on us. It's that guilt. It's like if you don't have good grades, you don't go to college, and you don't get a good job, blah blah blah, you're a loser.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But I was the same way, feeling like I was failing or.
I always felt like I didn't belong.
Well,
Me
that
too.
too,
And I did not feel comfortable in my skin for
Right.
so long.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened for me is, job to job, wanting to find something that you connected with really deeply, and you get your parents and you get all these other people saying you need to work 30 years in this job so you can collect a pension and all
Right.
this type of stuff, and it's like, but
Not happening.
you're suffering, you hate going to work, you're miserable, you're coming home miserable, you're drinking, you're doing, all these different
Well,
types
and it
of
makes
things.
everything and everybody around you miserable. I mean, it's just, it sucks.
Yeah,
like
I
a
could never do
superhoover.
it.
Right.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
One of the things I do with my clients is I try to change their perspective Or I don't try to change it. I try to show them that how it can be another perspective.
But here's the thing, you're not trying, you are doing, because
Okay, I'm
there's no
doing it.
try.
Right.
There's no try.
Tries to lie, I know. There's no tries to.
What happened to me is I went to a high school reunion, and there was, you know, some of the girls that were there, women, you know, and they were like, "What did you do, John, when you got out of high school?" And I started going through the different things I experienced, and they were all, the three of them were going like this, and I'm looking at them like,
What?
you know, why are they so? And one of them says, "Wow, you've really lived," and that right there was the spark that said,
Light
"Wait a
bulb.
minute." Yeah, it was like, that's why I'm experienced everything, because now I have all those experiences that I can relate
Right.
to the people who come
Right.
to me.
Exactly. Exactly. And I agree
And I
with
no
you. That's
longer
why we
really
go through
felt
what we
like
go
I
through.
was not, you know, it was about success, you know.
Right,
And
as defined
defined
by
by-
when we growing up.
Exactly. And then I was like, wow, I actually am very successful in the things that I do.
Yeah, high five.
Yes. Yep.
Like, what?
Bang.
I'm like,
We'll work on that balance.
yes.
Can I give you an example
Yeah.
of changing someone's perspective?
Yeah,
Mhm.
please.
I have a client who lost a child,
Mm.
a daughter. Very, very, I mean, she was just a couple days old, but
Oh.
still, the grief is unreal. The
Mhm.
grief is unreal. And she, every year on this child's would-be birthday, or I guess birthday, she would get really depressed. She'd drink, and she didn't, you know, it's so horrible. You have to go
Right.
through that every year, and it's been a long time. And I told her, you know, what would happen, just throwing out this suggestion now, if instead of crying and missing her, you honor her.
Mhm.
You honor her life, you
Mhm.
honor the love that she brought you. And the lady was like, wow, I never thought of it like that. And when she went through that birthday, she called me and she said, wow, it's honoring both of them.
Right. That's huge.
And I think part of that, the root of that was she felt like she failed.
Right.
You know, that she couldn't save the child, or one of these
Mhm.
guilty type of energies, and you gave her the celebration.
Right.
Not,
Well, it was because it was given to me,
right.
right?
Well, you give permission.
Right.
You gave permission to celebrate versus sitting in the
celebrate
morning,
life.
which is what's expected in our society. You know, it's like feeding into that whole victim thing. You know, and it's like, no,
Right.
you don't have to be a victim. It's a choice to be a victim. You get to enjoy what you had, and you get to celebrate. Do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Well,
I mean,
it's when so I lost a child, but not to death, to a cult,
Mm.
and it's the most painful, heartbreaking thing I've ever gone through. But instead of being mopey and stuff, which sometimes I am, especially around Christmas time,
We're humans. We're not
Right.
machines.
Right.
I use it. It's my master. He's my master teacher. To learn, you can unconditionally love somebody no matter what, and I will
Yes.
not ever give up on him.
Right.
And
I'm free for adoption, by the way.
I don't know.
I'm potty trained for the most part.
So
I work with litter boxes.
But let's get back into, it's like when we're talking the Wanderer, and you said that's part of what now?
archetype.
Archetype. How many are there? What are they? I mean, how do we know who we?
Oh,
I
we
don't
would
even-
need a whole weekend for that.
Yeah.
I actually learned it if you're in Colorado Springs, and she also does it other places. Her name's Molly Lord. Do you know Molly?
No, not yet.
And
But you will introduce us.
she has a.
Do you know her? We need to have
Oh
her
my
on the
goodness!
show.
So she has a weekend workshop where you learn about you learn what archetypes are, and you learn a few really well, and you learn about you in a way you've never done it before. But there's many archetypes. You have certain archetypes with, I think they said you come in to the earth with 12 of them or something, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is that you understand that, and she does that with music.
Okay.
So music is her language.
Hmm.
So I highly recommend it. I will let you know when she's having another workshop in January, February.
Well, connect us with her, she needs to be on the show and talk about that,
Oh,
because I
great.
think that'd be awesome.
She's so sweet.
Might have to experience this.
I know,
So the archives.
we get to learn stuff together, I like it.
Well, maybe I'll staff it.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. It's fun staffing, except it's tiring. So, but
That's what coffee is for.
when you learn, you know, that it's okay to wander. That's what my epiphany was when I took the class first.
Mhm.
It changed me. It changed me.
Yeah. Well, the light, that young woman, when I saw her, because she was only 23 years old, but she was already being pressured into a course of action.
Mhm.
And she's like, it's okay, but it's not what I feel. And I said, well, we came down here to experience life,
Mhm.
not to be run by programming and not to be playing it safe, that if we do this for this amount of time, I'll have this. It's about exploring this. Do you like it? Stay with it until you don't like it anymore.
Right,
Or it no longer resonates.
take the lesson from it and then move forward.
And move forward and do something different, do something completely different. I had high paying jobs and I left and took virtual minimum wage jobs. Loved that more, stayed there for many years at a very low income.
Because it's more
And
fulfilling.
yes, it was fulfilling. You learn to simplify. I felt I was alive every day. I
That's
went
great.
home happy. I went to bed happy. I woke up happy. And then the company
Cause
was sold on
happiness
someone
matters.
else. The company was sold.
That's a good
New-
thing. You should use it.
And
I know.
New
I
people
should write a
came in
book.
and changed the dynamics, and the dynamics didn't fit. So I moved on to something different.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, and with there, like you said, everything that you do, you can help others now because you understand it in a way nobody can understand unless they go through it.
exactly.
Right. That's just, like I said, I mean, I take me as an example. I mean, I was the wife, the mom, and then when we moved here, it's like, you know what, it's my turn, but I didn't even know where to begin. So I was bouncing from here to there to everywhere, and it's like, I never felt like I really belonged. Nothing was a fit. I learned a ton. I met amazing people. And now, knowing what I know now, it's like I needed all of that to bring me here today.
Well, yeah, it's putting together the puzzle on the table.
Right, exactly.
Finally, the picture came together.
Right, and then just like you, because of all of that, I'm better at what I do now. And I love that, we all have those things, and sometimes we're sitting there like, I have no clue why this is happening, but then looking back, it's like I am
Perfect time. Everything's perfect.
Oh yeah, I'm so grateful. It's like I was speaking up in Denver at a big event, and I was talking about gratitude. And before I started I shared a little bit about my story, and then I said, and I'm grateful for my mother. I'm grateful for everything she put me through, and some of the eyes got this big,
Yeah.
And
She was your teacher.
and I said, and I'm grateful for the lessons in what not to do and not how to raise children. Most of all, I'm grateful for the fact she didn't kill me.
Literally.
Literally. I said, I'm grateful she didn't kill me, and I look around, I said, aren't you? And they're like, yeah. And I said, but the point is, I said, it's not about my story. The point is there's always something to be grateful for. And sometimes you take the lesson away and what not to do, like, oh my God, that was stupid, I'm not doing that again. Because here's the thing too, and that's what I've learned too.
That's creating the tools.
Don't take the lesson and be grateful for the lesson. The universe sends it back with a little extra. And if you still don't get it, the universe is like, oh, here you go again. Have a little extra more. And at some point, it piles so much on that we really can't ignore it. And that's when we hit like the low point. Mm-hmm. Like everything is just crashing down. But that's really, I call it the 2x4 with the universe.
I was just gonna say that's what I call 2x4.
That's a 2x4 with the universe is like,
Bam!
wham! Did
First
you
you
get
get
it?
poked.
Right, first it's like, the little, that little mosquito type thing, like me, and then it's like, and then it's the kick, and then it's a wow.
I not only call it the 2x4, I call it the size 12 boot up the ass.
Yeah.
And that's what my situation when I was a deputy, and I was told 3 years prior till I got to the injury, time to go, John. And I was like, no, I've got a house, I've got a son, I've got, you know, these things. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I need this security. That's not the deal. You know, next year comes around, anniversary time of the first message, time to go. I've got this.
And you got a little added to it, right?
Yeah, well, I started getting an attitude with it. And then the third year,
No,
I
I'm
said,
talking
I
the
can't
message you
imagine
got, it got a little louder.
oh, it got,
And
yeah.
it gets louder, and that's
Oh,
what I'm saying, where the
third one
universe
was,
adds,
this
and
is
it
the
adds.
third and final warning that, you know, you had an agreement, you know, you made this agreement, and it's time to go. And I said, I went through the same stuff, and I just said, you know, they said, I went, to the universe, right?
We all have done it.
Right, and they said, John, that's not the deal. If you don't go now, you're gonna get the size 12 boot up your ass. And I was like,
And
bring
we're
it on,
doing this.
baby, you know, and whatever, and then I had a spinal injury. Couldn't be a cop no more, you know.
So
Many years of recovery, still recovering, and, but, because they wanted me to
But it was probably the best thing
concentrate.
that ever happened to you, right?
Well, because they wanted me to concentrate solely on my spiritual work, not being diverted through this other stuff.
Mhm.
Because my original plan was a 5-year plan as a cop. Just 5 years, and that was it. And I ended up being there, active 10, 2 years injured, and then left. And, you know, I stayed the extra 5. But the universe wanted me gone.
Yeah.
The original was the 5-year plan. They were being very nice to me to let me go that long. But
But we
no,
tend to ignore those little signs. It's like, because it's our ego, it's like, no, this is what I want to do, and this
See,
is how we're doing it, and the universe is like, yeah, no.
right. Like me, I'm not the person. I don't like bringing, for me personally, the word ego into things, because ego, there's positive aspects of ego and there's negative
Absolutely,
aspects.
absolutely.
And most times, you know, when people who do our work, when we talk about the ego, we're talking about the negative aspect that brings, you know, issues up. And most people get indoctrinated into that thought process.
No,
of
no,
the
no,
ego.
no, no, no.
And
It has a negative connotation.
it has a negative connotation in most people that I have dialogues with. And I said, no, without your ego, you wouldn't be doing half the things that make
Right.
you happy.
Right.
All right, you wouldn't shine.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it has that other aspect to it. So I don't like using me.
Okay.
Like
No, I get
that
it.
part of it
I get it.
because
I
of
never
that
thought
thing.
about it that way, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Because then it's like you start self-judging yourself. Am I in my ego? Wait a minute. Yeah, I am. I'm going out and shining. Now, that's part of my ego. But I would take it as, oh God, I'm being selfish, I'm being, you know, self-centered, I'm being, you know, the negative aspect of what an ego can do for you.
See, that's when I send it back in my heart, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, is this what I need to be doing, or is it what I think I need to be doing? Does it come from here, or does it come from here?
Right, exactly.
So.
And that's, you know, I try to tell everybody, this is the most important stuff.
Yeah.
The heart, the gut, you know.
And it is. It really is.
You gotta, you know, what they've been saying it forever. You know, think with your heart or trust your gut. Because it doesn't judge, it doesn't roll through the brain, it doesn't
have the
think,
filters.
and
There's
it doesn't
no
have any of
filters
the
there.
filters. It's
Right.
just pure, you sense it. And that's the truth. This.
You are so smart.
Yup.
You got nothing. You got nothing. No, but it's awesome, and I love, you know, people like you guys who do what you do to really raise the awareness and let people know it's like, you know what, there's nothing to be scared about. And really break through that stigma, that old stinking thinking, you know. And I mean, I had people when I was out networking, I thought they were my friends. Clearly were not. But I said, it's like, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I met the shaman and we're doing this, and they're like, oh, that's the devil's work, and that's just, you should stay away from that, and that's just evil. And I'm like, okay, we'll be done now. So another thing on that whole thing, and that's why I think what we do here, like with the show and you know, all of that, is so important. I was invited to speak at a luncheon for an organization, and I'm open. It's like, hey, my besties are shamans, and I'm like all about this. I was actually uninvited to speak. because my best friend is a shaman.
Mm.
And-
That's their loss.
Well, exactly. At first I was like, what the fire truck is wrong with you people? That's just stupid. You're all a part of the problem. But then, you know, because knowing what I know, I step back and I'm like, you know what? I honor that. That's on you guys. It's y'all's loss. I got better things to do with my time, which now I can do. You know, but I mean, to me, that was just another, like, in-your-face eye-opener.
Mm-hmm.
That it's so important that we educate people and let them know it's like, you know what? It all works on the same principle. You just call it something different. You have a different name for it. It's like a different language. You know, I mean, this is a chair. In German, it's a Stuhl or a Sessel. So it's the same thing, it's just a different word.
Right.
And that's the same thing with the whole spiritual and the energies and everything. We just call it something different. It's just a different word. But the gist of it, the energy of it, is all the same.
Right. It's,
So.
For some reason, people are looking for differences as opposed to what's the same.
Right.
You know, the things that bring us together. They look at what divides us.
Yeah.
So,
You have gray hair, we can't be friends anymore.
Well, this is colored.
Oh, okay.
It makes me look more sophisticated.
It's like, oh shit.
That's a good one, though.
My eyes are blue, they're not brown. I'm not full of it up there.
No, but it's really true. I think it's really important that we come together as humans,
Yes.
as people, you know, because here's the thing, and I said it last night at an event, you know, with Pride 411. As like, why did I join? Why am I a member of Pride 411, which is a directory for businesses for the LGBTQ community, either business owned by LGBTQ or supportive. And, you know, everybody got to say why. And my thing was, I believe we all bleed red and we all have to wipe our own.
Right.
We are no different.
And I think love is love.
Love is love. Love is love. I mean,
Love
if
is
you
love.
treat me right, I treat you right. If you're a jerk to me, guess what? You have another thing coming.
See, I don't look at it like that.
So I do, but I do it with love. Like, I love you, but...
No, I hold space for people.
I'm not there yet.
You will be.
I know I will be, I'm just not there yet.
I'll tell you what, though, it's really changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
When I started finding out where things came from, my ego or, you know, my head or my heart, and I can say all I wanted growing up was I wanted to be happy. That's
Right.
all
Yeah.
I ever wanted. And you know what? I am full of joy almost every day.
Love
I mean, I
that.
have my days.
I love that.
Yeah.
So explain real quick, because I know what it means, John know what it means, but not all of our audience might understand. It's like, explain holding space, if you could.
So what I do is, let's say there's somebody who you want to go to, right?
Get the whole flock.
You you can imagine them on a, you know, put them someplace. You can imagine them in your hand. You can imagine them on the, you know, depends how much you don't like them. And what I do is I just hold, I put them, love around them, love and light. And because when there's light, there can be no darkness, right?
Right.
And I just hold that for them, that
Okay.
space for them.
I like that.
And whether it does something or not, that's not up to me anyway.
Right.
And it's about them, not me. So it's like wishing somebody well, wishing them blessings.
Peace out.
Right. Yeah.
I wish you
basically.
well, peace out.
Yeah,
But
and not thinking of causing any harm mentally,
Right.
you know, spiritually, you know, without thoughts towards that person. They're on their own journey. It's
Right.
just not on the same
Right,
level as
and I have to say, because I talk about this, like, love them anyway, and I do that, and I do this more and more, because I'm more and more aware and more conscious. I mean, there's still times where I'm like, you know what?
But
Like, I want to do the Hogwarts thing, it's like, phew, gone.
yeah, but they're there for
So,
a reason.
Right, and I understand
It's hard to
that.
remember that.
It's hard to remember
in
that
the moment.
in the moment, right? And it's like, and I know the more I get into it and I evolve, you know, the more aware and quicker I realize that.
Mhm.
It's just getting there. I'm a work in progress. We all
We
are.
all are.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's really
I'll raise
important
my
to
hand.
come, and I, you know, when I speak, I tell people it's like always come from a place of love and gratitude.
Mhm.
You know, and it's easier said than done. I get that, because I'm human and I'm practicing, but it's getting better and better and more, and I catch it faster also. You know, so a lot of times when I was like, I send that out with very shortly after, it's like, yeah, and I love you and I wish you well and hope we never cross paths again. That's me.
Mhm.
You know, but I mean, it's important.
Add to that until your vibration shifts.
Oh, well, that's,
Right?
yeah, well, but
Because-
that's a lot of
because
words
that
to
person-
remember.
Or not.
Or not.
But the thing is that, you know, it's just,
Right.
like, sometimes we go into a classroom and we're sitting there and we're bored to death.
Mm-hmm.
We're not ready for that classroom yet,
Mm-hmm.
right? But down the road, you know, or that teacher,
Oh, absolutely.
and then all of a sudden my vibration shifts and now I'm getting a message. And I use the analogy of truths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we start out with a specific truth of our family, of what is being taught. That's our truth at that point in time. But as we grow and we go out and play and we see and we're hanging out at Joey's house or Mary's house or something, and their family truth is different. So now our truth is shifting
Right.
because we have more information and more experience. So every time we go through a truth, it's going to shift, it's going to change. That is not going to be what it was.
Right.
That's a transformation that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So those people that we're going like this right now to down the road, they may become our best friends after
And
we
it
go
happened to
through our
me, I have
shift,
to say.
and when they go through
So,
their shifts,
right.
and our vibrations
You mean when
start
they
to
get
come
their
together.
shift together?
Yeah.
The shift happens.
I
Shift
know.
happens, yeah.
Imagine that.
That's why I wear those special pants. I'm all kidding.
The special depends?
Yeah.
No, but it's true, and I've had that, you know, a few people where I'm like, I'm so done, I'm so over you, and don't ever even think of me, you know, and now we're friends. So, because they shifted, I shifted, and
Right.
we're just full of
And
shit.
sometimes we come to an understanding, or we come to the understanding that we don't have to agree,
Right.
and we just let things be.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. No, it's life is awesome.
Yeah. I used to have a need to put my opinion into things, right? Judgment and opinion and everything, and I dropped that because I'll just sit there if somebody's saying something I don't really like, that's their thing, not mine, and
Right.
you know.
And sometimes
And
listening,
that's-
you gave them
that's huge.
permission to maybe release the vomit that was stuck in them,
Mm-hmm.
and their opinion, their thought might shift because they finally were able to speak without being judged.
Well, it's not only that, but I notice, like, when I write something, and then I read it in my head, it's different when I read it out loud. And sometimes we have to hear it out loud, and not just in our head, to go like, well, I need to rework that. You know, because I mean, we can read the same thing over and over and over, and until we say it out loud, it's like, oh, whole different,
Mm-hmm.
it's, phew, I like it. What? I'm weird. What can I say?
We all know that.
And I embrace my
Wonderful.
weirdness.
Wonderful.
I bought the ticket to watch it, so.
I always say,
It's a good show.
I'm not weird, I'm unique.
Yes.
I'm
Uniquely
expressing my
weird.
uniqueness. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
And you know, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think you're amazing, and I'm glad you're a part of my life, and I'm glad our paths crossed because there's no coincidences.
Right.
Right.
You know, and to find out that you guys know each other, I'm not surprised that you guys know each other forever. I'm not. I'm really not.
It's a pretty small community.
Well,
Yeah.
that too. But I mean, it's just, but your vibe attracts your tribe. It's that simple. It really is that simple, and it's just, it's amazing, and yeah. So thank you for being on the show,
Welcome.
Yeah.
for sharing you,
It's my
and
honor, really it is.
Yeah. Now, even though we're still on the air, so to speak,
Mhm.
but it can be edited, but was it scary?
No, not at all.
All right. And we talked on another show about, you know, the fear and everything else. 98% of fear is an illusion.
well, and I tell people, it's like,
Yeah.
so what if you're scared? Do it while you're scared.
Yeah.
But do it. I mean, if it's not, if there's no danger to your life or your health, your well-being,
Well, I wasn't sure about the
Sure.
danger to my life thing being.
well, we have them all.
Yeah.
At you.
I thought you meant Mo because he was like licking you profusely. I was like,
Yeah.
Because I love doggies.
I know, and he knows that too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just, it's just fun.
And the reason why I asked you that question too is because so many people out there are afraid to, say, get in front of a camera. And even though you didn't even notice it was there after a few moments,
Right.
it was a conversation.
And that's what it's all about.
So
Don't be
life
scared.
is a conversation. So,
you mean you have to talk and
And,
communicate?
and what you have to say is important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
That's all
sometimes
it is.
we're here to speak it, but we also have to be here to just to hear it, just to listen.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is like us sitting here with our guests that we've had so far and everything, I'm learning so much. I'm like totally on receiving, learning. And I mean, I'm not going to put it to use right away because I'm not ready for it, but it's there. The seed is planted. Wah. No, but I mean, and that's really all this is just raising awareness. Because that power of awareness it's key.
Yeah.
It's like, we can continue walking through life with the blinders on and on autopilot and everything and let everything pass by and be miserable. Or we can like, whoa, there's more. But wait, there's more. Why now? You get to no. Anyway, but seriously, there's so much out there, and if we're just open, and even if you just open this much, it will come in, and then it opens more and more and more, and I'm in awe of the wonders and the information that's really downloading and coming, and it's coming so fast.
Actually, you're remembering it.
Well, I know I'm remembering, it's just not consciously, it's there.
Right.
But I mean, it's just, I'm in awe. I'm loving this.
When everybody listens and we talk to each other, that's the consciousness raising of everybody. Especially if they start questioning, and then they start exploring.
That's right.
Yeah, and when you hear a new idea, now you've not only created new questions, but you've allowed your consciousness to start to explore internally, externally.
So you raise the awareness.
It's
just it opens up new doors and to me they're not doors anymore. They're really portals. But I mean it's really, and sometimes something opens and I'm hesitant because that old pattern and that fear, but then the next moment is like, what are you afraid of, stupid? Just go, figure it out.
Yeah. Well, jumping in the pool when you're a kid. Once you were in there, the water was fine generally. You put your toe.
I know,
it's just like boom, you come in. Oh,
right.
You start having a great time.
It's just
You have to come
awesome.
in and have a great time.
Yeah, fear nothing.
Enjoy. So thank you so much for being
Yes.
on the show, Roberta.
Yeah, Roberta. thank
Anytime you want to come back, just let us know.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate
We'll have
that.
you back anytime.
And I would like to end by saying, please remember you are a bright and shining star.
Yes, you are.
And you are too, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
That's fine.
Guys, open up. Let it in. It's awesome. Thank you for watching. Be happy. Be kind. Be loved. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah. That took a lot.
I know, like,
Bye.
bye.